Hi, this is Greg from All Seeing Guys. I'm recording this intro quickly on my phone because I can't be asked to get all the equipment out just to record a 30-second bit. This episode 125 was meant to be a bigger episode. It was meant to have the Kebab Awards covered in it, but we had some ridiculous technical issues I won't bore you with. We fixed them now, we'll be fine going forward, but it did mean that this episode did suffer a bit and I had to cut the Kebab Awards section out. So this episode was meant to be over an hour. It's actually only about 35-40 minutes. And we don't touch on the Kebab Awards. Next episode, we will explain what happened and we'll mention the Kebab Awards in a bit more detail then. Anyway, it's still a fun episode. It's still fucking disgusting. It's still All Seeing Guys. We're still coming in your ears during lockdown and we'll have other episodes coming out as normal. So, enjoy. Fucking tuck it in. Bye.
Bye-bye, microphone.
No, not yet.
Well, you don't want to talk into it.
Yes.
Do you want to talk into it?
My talking.
Mummy doesn't need to talk into it. What do you want to say? Do you want us to talk to it? Say hello.
The All Seeing Guys podcast is part of Britpod Scene, an independent network of uniquely British podcasts that's always growing. Check out BritpodScene.com or follow Britpod Scene on Twitter to find out more.
Hello, welcome to the All Seeing Guys, episode 125. I'm Corson Greg, and I'm joined by who are you? Who am I joined by?
The right honourable Joe Jackson.
The Right Honourable Joe Jackson. How are you, Joe?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, man. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm okay. It's a Friday evening.
It is indeed.
Which is usually how we start these podcasts. It's a Friday evening.
Just a bit pissed off
And
already.
When I've had a beer and I'm on my second rum.
I've had,
but the beer and first rum were paced over finishing work, having dinner, getting Indiana bath, a slow burner. I've been playing the long game.
I had a rum, and then I remembered I had a cider, so I had that, and then I went back to rum.
Ooh,
like some
nice
sort
little
of
interval.
Like some sort of cheating husband.
I'm back. I'm sorry I left you, baby. I was insider. Hey,
I was insider. This sort of...
you caught me.
I'm here for, as always, Greg brings the pace.
We're here again in lockdown podcasting mode. But unlike the last episode where we were doing it over just on the phone, I can see Joe now. We're doing it over Skype, so I can actually see Joe in front of me.
That's it.
Like looking all lovely in his... Well, are you in your bedroom, Joe?
I am. I'm in my bedroom. I've got a nice nice
Is
map
there a world
here.
map? Is there a world map? I'd say, is there a world map behind you?
Yeah, it's on a frame and everything. It's a legit
Who are you,
map.
Stewie Griffin?
No, I'm not. No, I just watched too many flat Earth videos and some stuff started making sense.
So I framed it.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, that's a good point. That's a lie, by the way. That's a joke. That's a bad
We
joke.
actually we recorded this last week, this episode, and it was awesome. We recorded the great episode last week, but my audio was fucked and it could not be used. So we're having to redo. And we went in deep on the Kebab Awards. We really did. Sorry to disappoint you, because I know I've been banging on about we're going to do the Kebab Awards soon. Yeah. And we did do them, and it was amazing. You would just never get to hear them.
Yeah, we'll just do the
Unfortunately,
important ones. It's like the Oscars, They don't show all the fucking awards, do they? They show the important ones.
Oh man, they don't show all of them? Jesus.
No, of course they don't.
I know they don't. I know, because for the ones
There's shit like best
it's during the ad
who gives
breaks,
a
isn't it,
fuck?
and stuff.
Like, best AD, who gives a shit?
So obviously we've been announced we're having another 3 weeks of lockdown. No surprise.
Yeah,
no surprise really.
No,
It'll probably
no.
be longer than that as well.
Yeah. 3 weeks.
But-
Everyone's just like, oh, come on, that's not too bad. We can do another 3 weeks. What if it's like another 3 weeks on top of that? And then, because everyone's just not going to they're still not taking it serious, Greg.
I know. Did you see last night was the 8 o'clock clap for the NHS, and did you see the videos and all the photos of everyone on Westminster Bridge?
Yeah.
And it was just heaving on there.
Yeah, it's fucking people just don't. Oh, you know what? It's fine. Just let them get on with it, and they'll die. It'll be all right.
Fine enough, I do have a little bit of a... We don't want to keep banging on about the coronavirus and lockdown because you guys know what's happening. We know what's happening. You're sick of seeing it. We're sick of seeing it. We're living it. You don't need us to keep talking to you about it.
Stopped reading the news.
But I did want to briefly bring up an article I saw floating around today, which was that 9% of Britons don't want life to return to... Basically, they don't want to return to normal after lockdown. They kind of don't mind it because they're seeing the benefits of living this way. Such as, cleaner air, more wildlife, stronger communities.
Yeah, but I want to leave the house when I fucking feel like it.
So this 9%, so this was out of 4,343 people took a EU government poll. Okay, so 9% kind of didn't really want life to go back to normal after lockdown. 54% of the people that took this poll said that they hope people will make changes in their own lives for the country as a whole to learn from this crisis. They hope that going forward, and I think it won't be a case of just learning from it. We'll kind of have it built into us now, probably a bit more wary about, we're not going to go around licking bus stops anymore.
No, that Friday night routine is long gone.
And 42% said that they value food and other essentials a lot more, with 38% cooking from scratch more.
Yeah, I think in regards to like people buying food, I think people are using it more than they are wasting it. I think people are getting like the absolute most out of the food that they are buying.
Yeah, and that's a good shout because a lot of time everyone is like, "Oh, should we have pasta?" I'm like, "Sure, we have loads of it."
Yeah.
She's pre-made loads of sauces out of stuff that's all frozen in the freezer.
Yeah, done and done. Easy.
So it's like break it in half, melt it down. I'll get all the sauce, some left in the freezer. Like, oh, awesome! It's an amazing sauce.
My mum made her own pasta.
There you go.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
Just made it.
Is your mum making bread?
Yeah, she has made some bread. Yeah, it's gone very
Nice.
well. She tried to do a sourdough,
Nice.
but I can't really remember how that came out.
What was it laced with? I can't remember. I ate some. Woke up 4 days later, naked in the garden,
No, it was sourdough. It's just
with homemade pasta coming out of me.
My intestines were replaced with homemade pasta.
I am pasta.
Yeah, there's been some crafting of some bread. Yeah.
Oh, excellent. I always remember that when I first came to your house, being like, "What's all this stuff?" And you're like, "Oh, yeah, we make bread."
I remember when you came to my house and you had to ask me for a tour. I was just like, really?
Yeah, of course. It's polite. Or would you rather I just unannounced just walked off and started opening doors and snooping around your house?
It was great because then you started taking photos and just like, I'll send these to Lizzie.
Oh, because Lizzie wants to know.
You guys are fucking perverts, man.
Yeah, Lizzie wants. Lizzie's like, get some pictures of the house. I want to see what it looks like. The survey found that 61% of people were spending less money and 51% noticed cleaner air outdoors, while 27% think there is more wildlife.
I have definitely not noticed. I've read some stuff about things getting clearer and that, but I haven't really noticed a difference in the air, and I haven't saved any money.
No, I feel I'm saving money, but I don't know if I am. I probably can't say I've noticed more wildlife. I hear more birds. I definitely hear a lot more birds.
Yeah.
Just before you called, I opened the back door and just sat. I could just, because I had my headphones on and the mic on, I could just hear birds.
That's cool.
So like loudly, and also might be able to see it now at my window. Bit cloudy at night now. Even before it gets dark, I see this perfect like fat huge star. It must be a planet.
My mum pointed that out as well.
It's a planet, right? Like I see that all the time now.
Yeah.
Occasionally, I can't remember what planet it is, but occasionally you would see it here and there on really clear nights. But I'm seeing it like nightly now.
Yeah.
Just constantly seeing it up there. And I'm just like, that's pretty awesome. And at night, if I go out like in the garden, it's just the sky is just like clear stars. I mean, it always is quite clear in Chesterton.
Yeah.
So,
but we had a supermoon recently, didn't we?
We did, yeah. I saw that at the front. Yeah. I agree with that. 2/5 said there's a stronger sense of community in the area since the outbreak begun, and 39% say they're catching up with friends and family more. That's probably true, the friends and family one. We definitely like Zoom with Lizzie's family a lot more, so we have like a couple of times a week we chat to like Dan, Lizzie's brothers, Dan, Nick, their wives, Lisa, Laura, their kids, Ronnie, Belle, and Lizzie's cousin Australia, Elliot, his wife, Liz, and kids. So we do kind of have a couple of those a week. And yesterday, it was Lizzie's dad's 70th. So that they organised like a family Zoom call, and there was like so many Italians on this one call, and honestly, mate, it was chaos. It was awesome. It was really good. It was a lot of fun. But it was chaos.
I'm imagining the table of the intro to Roseanne.
Yeah, but if you were little squares on a screen, so that mixed with the Brady Bunch,
Just like a really angry Brady Bunch.
it was a lot of fun, but it's like insane how that's becoming. Like Indiana's quite used to it now, like talking to people on the computer.
Yeah.
Like, I want to talk to Nanny, grabs the computer or the phone. She knows we're going to have to FaceTime.
Yeah.
Like, insane. Absolutely crazy how, like, it's becoming... And I used to hate Zoom because it was like a work tool. Now it's kind of like, oh, we're going to talk to Lizzie's family for Dad's birthday. Get on Zoom. We're going to be doing a quiz next week or something. I don't know.
Like, video calls are something that I always remember seeing in, like, futuristic films. Like, do you remember, like, Demolition
Star
Man
Trek.
and shit? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Demolition Man, like, some, like, random naked chick just, like, turns up on his screen and is just like, what is happening? And now we have Skype.
And now we have Skype and Zoom, yeah.
So, yeah.
Zoom seems to be the official one during lockdown, doesn't it? That's what
I mean, House Party got a bit of a bad reputation for people getting scammed and shit.
I didn't even know what House Party was, but yeah. But it is crazy, this whole live streaming thing. So, like, I mean, it's great. So, like, with Indiana, Lizzie's been live streaming, like, Kingston Library doing the story time she would take Indiana to on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Now she watches them do it through a live stream. Tiny Dancers, the rave for the kids that we've taken Indiana to. They've been doing a live stream on a Saturday tonight. Yeah. Actually, they're doing an adult one.
Oh, nice!
Like, they're doing an adult one from 9:00. But yeah, it's awesome because
I want to see people just log onto that doing pills on Sky.
Well, he just does it through YouTube and Facebook. But it's like we did it with Indiana on the Saturday one for the kids, and it was like we got like all the lights out she has, we got the bubble machine out for her, and just fucking had a proper little rave.
Yeah,
proper little rave up.
Easily done, man. If you got the abilities,
easily slip into a rave. But yeah, it's insane how it is now just becoming. I wouldn't say normal, but it's a good tool to have, the whole live stream.
Yeah.
Video call thing, because you still can bring a sort of sense of normality. Again, it's not really normal, but things you would do with your kids or as a family, you can still kind of watch live streams.
Yeah, I think it's helping making the best of a bad situation.
I think that's very good, very, very well put. Right, I think we're going to some geese dropping. A bit of geese dropping. We hear snippets from overheard conversations sent in by you or us. Disclaimer, Joe would have heard these when we recorded the last episode that we couldn't use. It's been a week. He might have forgotten them. Let's find out. Geese dropping.
Geese
dropping. Having a listen. I'm so fucking scared, bruv. Yo, come down here with your mates. I know for a fact you ain't got no friends. Now, that was a tame rendition of that. That was a tame rendition.
I had forgotten about that.
The guy was actually screaming down the... I was sat in the car park at Kingston Hospital in the car waiting for my dad to have his scan. And I heard this guy scream. And he walked past, how I imagine, no shirt on, jogging bottoms, hand down his fucking crutch.
What month was this?
It's like last week. Like
oh, okay.
Jumper,
when it was hot,
slung over his shoulder, just walked past, screaming down his phone. So obviously he'd had a bit of a falling out with who he was on the phone with, and the guy on the phone, I think, must have been like, "Yo, I'll come down with my mates," and he's like, "Well, you ain't got no mates, so I ain't fucking scared." So you come down.
Whatever, mate. You haven't got any mates.
You ain't got any mates. I ain't scared of you at all. Put in his fucking place.
Scared. I ain't scared of you or your non-existent mates.
This one, fucking, I heard. I'm not even gonna tell you where I heard it. I'm just gonna say it. I can tell it's cold because my fanny is tingling. That's a power. Joe just spat up his drink.
I'd forgotten all of these.
That's such a... You imagine if that's like her power. Like, the temperature's changing. Get Janice in here now and her magic vagina. And Janice just stands in the room and goes, yeah, I'm starting to get a tingle. Yeah, it's getting cold. It's getting cold. So I heard that she was literally... I sat in the Grove, beer gardens. Sat in the beer garden with Ed. Ed wasn't there at the time. He was at the bar getting a beer. and these loaded. It was a Friday. They were probably waiting for you, I think, Joe. These girls are coming from work and like sat table behind us. He'd gone in to get a beer, and I heard one of them say it, and I was like, "That is tremendous."
Write it the fuck down.
That is, a lot of time when that's where I get most of my geese jobs. Good old Friday nights when I'd finish work, go straight to Surburn, meet Ed at the cash point. They would walk down to the. I'd pick up geese drops from the cash point sometimes before he gets there. Then usually walk down, and then I'd grab a few in the pub, and he would always see me write them down. He'd be like, "What'd you get? What'd you get? What'd you get?" or he'd point them out to me. So this one, Johan, my good friend Johan, sent me this message. So this was the day before Valentine's Day. He popped in a florist, I imagine, to get his missus some flowers for Valentine's Day. And he was walking out with his flowers in hand. And some dude in the car drove past, beeped, and out the window shouted, "Oi, oi, Mr. Romantic!" and gave him the thumbs up.
What a heckle!
What a name, Mr. Romantic. So funny. Like it must have been the most common thing to be buying flowers.
Terrible superhero.
That time. And then him and the sidekicks, the tingly vagina woman. Like,
this is the surprising adventures of Mr. Romantic
and tingly vagina Janice. Like,
they are an absolute duo.
Do these flowers smell nice? Stick them in my vagina.
Yes,
they do.
They do. So I can make them ice cold.
They do. They
so
smell
they can
lovely.
perish.
Yeah, do you want ice?
That's her tagline.
Just squats over your glass. That is what the two girls on the Cup original was. To wrap up geese dropping, I was sent a video from a guys to work with in Summerfield many moons ago. Ashley, it's awesome if you're listening, mate. I do appreciate that. That was the crew back then, back in Summerfield. My first job when I was like 15, 16. Oh no, I joined just before I turned 16. And it was me, Lee, of course, Lee George, Ashley, my mate Alex, Babs, and Dave Battenberg. It was a little crew, man, for many a year.
Dave Battenberg.
During like peak weed smoking era. Anyway, out of the blue, Ashley sent me a video. He sent me an audio message as well, but I'm going to save that for another episode. He sent me a video, and it was him explaining a geese. You know what? I'm just going to fucking play the video he sent me and what he witnessed. A little story. Enjoy. Thank you, Ashley. Take it away.
Easy now. So I've got a bit of a geese drop for you. Last week, and this is all during the coronavirus nonsense, back tyre on my motorcycle popped, so I had to get the bus into work for a couple of days while I was waiting for a engineer to get it all sorted. Anyway, right, jump on this bus to go to work. It's fucking 6 o'clock in the morning, right? Just me and this one old man sitting at the front, I'm at the back. About 3 stops in, chaviest looking woman you've ever fucking seen gets on the bus, right, with 3 grubby little kids. The youngest one's maybe 3, 2, something like that. Sits on one of the, the sideways facing benches at the front of the bus. Mum and the other 2 kids go middle of the way down. Youngest one starts singing that bloody Mummy Fingers song, Mummy Finger, where are you? And you do that whole counting thing, Mummy Finger, Baby Finger, and all that, right? And kids getting like really loud. Mum's getting a bit frustrated. She's like, Alfie, I've asked you before not to sing on the bus. You need to come away. You need to come and sit with Mummy. You can't sit that close to people. Come on, Alfie, come on. Anyway, kid shuts up but doesn't move. Maybe 30 seconds later, at the top of his voice, he's, Daddy Finger, Daddy Finger. The mum just gets proper irate, stands up, and she's like, Alfie, I have told you before, you haven't got a dad. I just gave the old man this look of sheer horror. He got off at the next stop, looked at the woman, just tutted at her, and for the rest of the journey I'm dead silent, earphones on, no music on, just literally earphones on to make it look like I am a public display of a lack of father fingers. Gotta love it.
What I take away from that video is that Indiana sings that bloody song. I hate it. It sounds almost not paedophilic, just a daddy finger.
It's
where are you? And I know then it goes through the family, But
I feel like they just really didn't think that through.
Well, I hear Lindiana watches it on YouTube. Many different styles of it. Kids' YouTube's weird. Many different styles of it, like just little CGI, basic animation, and it's all different. It's all different versions of the same song. It really throws me off. She listens to loads of different ones. She listens to a lot of like Hindu ones recently as well, which is
What?
like yeah, I know. Like kids YouTube. She's watching this one at the moment called like Wendy Pretends or something, and it's like I don't even know if they're like an Asian family, an Oriental family, or if they're Mexican. I don't quite know what's going on, but they have a lot of toys, huge toys, and it's like the family and the kids playing with toys, but they all shout at each other, and the uncle's just like, Wendy, I want some chicken nuggets, and she's like, oh okay, and she got a toy shop. And she makes him nuggets. And he's like, oh no, Wendy, these nuggets are nice. And then like the sister's got a shop, and she's like, I've got tacos. He's, oh, I want tacos. Sorry, I don't want your chicken nuggets. And it runs over to the tacos. But they all shout at each other.
Sounds
and they
awful.
have this massive house full of toys. It's a bit fun. She loves it. She's asking for, Wendy Pretends, please. I'm like, oh god, it's so annoying. Just shouting.
Ugh. I can.
But like obviously a big hit on YouTube. Obviously a very big hit on YouTube for kids.
Oh, that's it, isn't it? I mean, there's so much just sort of it's just people just trying to be like children's TV presenters, just like overly enthusiastic and just annoying.
They're very enthusiastic.
Fucking annoying.
So there's been a fair few stories I wanted to cover over the last during our break from not recording, where we had like 3 flashback episodes go out, which I stand by weren't completely cop out because we did record intros for them, and I probably spent more time making those episodes than I do on a normal episode because I'm like going back through 20
you got to go through like a lot of shit and find like the right like snippet,
and I'm finding snippets and then I'm putting them in, and obviously they all sound different.
Yeah.
So I'm having to like edit them all. It takes me like a day to make those, so definitely a lot more time than it takes me to make a regular episode. Therefore, not entirely a cop out. more work, dedicated. But anyway, we had like 3 of those go out.
You're trying to buy people over by telling them the procedure.
All the work I had to do. So we put out 3 of those. So that's like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Because every 2 weeks. So
yeah.
So for 6 weeks, we put out those 3 episodes, and a lot of stories came out during that time that I've been saving up. But then, the world changed dramatically in like the towards the end of that time.
Everything took a bit of a turn to the right, and
Jolt go to the left, and everything kind of. And the story seems a bit less relevant. But again, I do want to bring up this one again because it's really fucking good. And I know that Ant and Tom already mentioned it on their podcast. Shout out Anywhere But Here podcast.
Yes,
and they've still been recording episodes. Fucking good on them.
Yeah, man.
I also want to mention that they've obviously loaned their voices for a couple of characters in the 3rd radio play, Ritz and Dick, the Mosaic. They've got the judges at the beginning, and they play secret characters at the end.
Not so secret now, is it?
Well, I haven't said what it is, but because this whole lockdown scenario is affecting us finishing the radio play, we had like 35-40 minutes of it done, so we're splitting it in half. We've still got the end to record, but we have enough to split in half and release a part 1. We just need to do one short scene. Joe's gonna have a bash at doing it on the Zoom on the Zoom mic he's got. I'll record my bits. Luckily it's quite a short scene, so it should be alright. And then get that fixed. If it sounds alright, part 1 will come out hopefully within a few weeks. And then that'll be it. We'll have part 1 of the Mosaic out. And it'll still be about 25-30 minutes long. And it's good. I gave this morning, the last couple of days of my run, I listened to Time Vagina. And then when it finished, I went straight into the Mosaic. And it flows nicely.
I'm gonna wait for the 3rd one to be done, and I'm gonna listen to them all in one go.
Just talking about Tom and Ant, I wanted to mention that we have got the next part of the radio play coming out very soon. Do not worry. Not that I doubt anyone really cares. But yeah, Tom and Ant have been still knocking out their podcast episodes. They usually end up bringing up stories that I had on my list, and they did mention this one briefly. They didn't really go into it into much detail.
Oh, nice.
So I'm still going to go ahead and read it. This story is insane right now. What it entails seems so alien right now in terms of lockdown.
Yeah.
What you interacting with people, social distancing. This blows all out of the water. And this was only in the 25th of February.
Seems like last year.
It was like so long ago.
It's like literally a month.
So here we go. I'm not even going to read the headline. I'm just going to go in. Luckily, it's a short article.
Ah, sick.
2 customers at Poundworld in Devon were roped into a bizarre prank where they were ridden like horses and licked the feet of all the staff under the premise that they would receive £3,000 for it. Intriguing. The prank was actually orchestrated by an anonymous caller who phoned the store claiming to be from a charity in Ireland and asked staff to close the store for a team training exercise that would require entering 2 customers into the competition. The staff members took the guy's word for it and convinced Naomi Desmond, 24,
I love it.
and her mum, Pamela, 55, who has one arm, to get involved.
Already I have questions.
Over the next 2 hours, Naomi and Pamela had string tied around their ears, drawings penned on their faces, water splashed all over them, and were also ridden by staff members like horses, and were then made to lick their feet.
You know what? This is what Guantanamo. This is exactly what Guantanamo Bay would be like if Pat Sharp was in charge of it. It'd be like it would have made it into fucking funhouse.
Throughout the ordeal, the staff had to refer to the 2 women as ugly and beast. In return, they had to call the manager beautiful lady with a promise of £50 each time they said it. The caller also took their details down.
Wow.
Thing is, it gets even weirder.
Say no more, Greg. It's Devon. No problem.
After 2 hours, the caller said the team exercise had ended and that Naomi and Pamela should go home and wait for their £3,000 winnings.
They should go home and think about what they've done.
However, later that day, he called them up and told them to go back to Poundworld to win more money.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The mum and daughter did as he said, but when they found the store closed, they were made to crawl around on their hands and knees, which they did for half an hour.
Mugged off.
Eventually, Poundworld staff called the head office and everyone realised it had been one big elaborate prank. And these poor women... Oh, here we go.
Oh, man.
And these poor women had licked the feet of Poundworld staff for nothing.
Man, but for real though, at what point do you really not maybe just ask some questions?
We have some quotes here. Pamela told the Metro, "At first it was funny, like a game show. It all happened on shop floor. They were asked to get on our backs and rode us up and down the aisle like a horse race. But afterwards, we felt embarrassed and generally thought it was head office. I am disabled, so that makes it even worse. And the caller knew." Naomi added, "We're both too scared to go into Poundworld now, in case we're forced to lick their feet again."
We need to get out of here. This is... Oh, no, actually, that's... Well, no, that is calming. That is rather relaxing, actually. Somewhat ticklish, actually.
A Poundworld spokesman said, "We apologise unreservedly to our customers for their experience at our Barnstaple store, which our team also fell victim of. The incident has been referred to the police and we're assisting them with their inquiries." The mum and daughter now want to sue Poundland, who only offered them £200 for their ordeal, not quite the $3,000 they were expecting. Clearly, this anonymous prankster this article says he is an utter loser of too much time on his hands.
Nah, that person's a fucking evil genius, mate. That is a fucking superhero villain at large.
It sounds like... I mean, I don't know if there has been an update on this and he has been found, or if he struck somewhere else.
Yeah.
I mean, when I worked in retail, in a position of management, if someone calls you from a head office, you know who they are. If someone called me from head office, I'd be like, "Oh, great, it's Michelle. Hi, how you doing? Oh, hi, it's blah, blah." If someone rang me up and I didn't recognise them at all and was like, "Oh, can you get your staff to, ride customers around like horses?" I wouldn't be like, "Right, yeah, sure thing, mate."
Again, what's going on?
Because it was also a trick to get fake refunds, wasn't it? Someone would come in and be like, "Oh, I'm on the phone to your head office.
Oh, yeah.
They said you can give me a refund for £200 for something I've already posted back to the website. Do you mind? You can talk to them." And they would sound convincing, but it wouldn't be...
Oh, that is cheeky, isn't it?
And I remember in Bentwell Centre, a lot of stores fell for it. But it's just like, if someone did it to me, I'll just be like, oh, cool, did Amanda okay? Yes, there is no Amanda. Even when you think about it, it is actually really fucking
Mate,
dark.
I'm no way getting away with this.
Like, to convince someone. I wonder how many other stores he tried before.
True, very true.
This is going to end up being like a BBC drama or something. So, I know I've got sidetracked here, but I was chatting to like in the WhatsApp group I'm in with the guys I used to work with in Natterjack, so like, you know, Lewis and that. And Justin was saying, oh, he has the neighborhood app.
All right.
So me and Lewis gave it a go. It didn't like. I think I had it for like a day and got rid of it. But you literally get the app and you put in like your postcode and your street, and it's like all people in the area like posting stuff. Most of it's gossip, neighborly gossip. Some of it's a bit, you know, borderline racist.
Okay.
But there was a guy a few doors down, and I was like, I recognise that guy, and he basically said that someone down my street had died from the coronavirus recently, and I was like, oh shit.
Oh man.
When the fuck did that happen? I saw someone else posting there being like, does anybody have a copy of the Bible I can buy? I was like, Jesus, man. Wow. Anyway, I digress. I digress. We're going to wrap up with an sort of agony aunt. I believe this was tweeted to me, or it might have actually been Sam formerly of Open All Powers who sent it to me. He sends me quite a few things on Instagram.
Okay.
Because it's not actually an agony aunt. This is actually somebody's response to an agony aunt who responded how we would, and I quite liked it. So I thought it was worth reading out. It was such a shitty reply that it actually made the papers. We haven't done agony aunt in ages because they just started getting a bit stale. Maybe we'll start looking. Maybe there'll be some fresh lockdown ones we can look at.
Potentially. Who knows?
Hey? Maybe there's some fresh lockdown ones we can look at. I'll keep an eye on it. Right, okay. This was Ask Amy. And this was the letter that was sent in. Dear Amy, every fall, my sister, cousins, and a cousin's sister-in-law have a weekend shopping excursion in our home city. We stay in a hotel, treat ourselves, shop for our children, and go out for lunches and dinners. Obviously stay in for breakfasts. It was a great time to reconnect. I have a sister, Wendy, whom we do not invite. She is offended to the point of tears when she finds we have not invited her. My two sisters and I are very close in age, but Wendy hasn't been as close to this set of cousins as my sister and I have been. Haven't been as close to this set of cousins as my sister and I have been through the years. We are married, stay-at-home mums. Wendy is a divorced, working mum with one young child. There are several reasons we do not include her. We know she doesn't have very much money for such an outing. She also doesn't have many of the same interests as we do. We're all very active churchgoers. That makes sense. We're all very active churchgoers, while she only sporadically attends services.
Is that why they don't invite her?
Plain and simple. She does not really fit in with us anymore. She takes it very personally, and last year even came to my home unannounced crying about it.
I really, really hope this goes in the direction that I'm thinking it goes in with the agony aunt's advice.
Which upset my children and caused my husband to threaten to call the police if she didn't leave. Now she barely speaks to me and has told our relatives that I'm a horrible person, even though I've tried to help her. How can we get her to understand that she should perhaps find another set of friends whose lives and interests align more closely with hers? Signed, Sad Sister.
How about this? Very, very simple scenario. Invite them. If they say no, fucking no problem.
So what did Amy have to say to this? Dear Sad, hang yourself. First, let's establish that I agree with your sister. You are a horrible person.
Yes!
Obviously, you can do whatever you want, as socialite or exclude whoever you want, but you don't get to do this and also blame the person you're excluding for not fitting in. The only way your sister would ever fit in would be for you to make room for her. You're all willing to do that, and that is your choice. But being upset is completely justified, and you'll just have to live with that. Perhaps this is something you could ponder from your church pew. Perhaps despite your regular attendance, you don't seem to have learnt much. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh,
Get the fuck out of
boom!
here.
Yes! Amy comes through.
You're fucking dumb.
Oh, she was given agony and she served out justice.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, she didn't hold back at all, mate. She was fucking like, fuck the fuck, fuck the fuck, fuck the fuck you.
Fuck yeah, no, I'm fucking, that is bang on though. She's just like, you are being a prick, because that's some like fucking high school shit.
Fuck the fuck you.
It's like, oh, this person isn't really the same as us, so we're just going to exclude them. Like, that's
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking yeah.
From your church pew. I love that. So fucking good. So fucking good. I'd say that wraps up episode 125. What a good number.
This is great.
It is really nice to be recording again, especially during this crazy time of lockdown where
I've had a few people as well just sort of saying like, are you guys continuing and stuff like that, and I think like, you know, people, it's just that I think, and I don't mean this in a sort of big-headed way, but like people listening to podcasts, some people listen to it on, you know, and they wait for releases, they wait for release day, and that's kind of sort of, it's not that it's a routine, but it's something they're used to, and that sort of reminds them of the normalcy of like daily life. And if that's what podcasts do for you, then let's fucking continue doing it, even if we are talking a bunch of shit.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm saying. During these crazy times, it's good for us to still be able to sit down and talk, and it's good with the video to see each other, talk, and fucking record and do this podcast. I was been really looking forward to this. Like last couple of days, I'm like, fuck, we're recording Friday. Excellent. I'm really, once work was finished and dinner was done, I was like, right, beers getting, I was set up like an hour early, just like, yeah, podcasting, fucking sit down, chat to Joe, fucking have a bit of Friday night normality.
I can't believe we didn't do this sooner.
Anyway, fucking amazing times. Yeah, Joe, it's been fucking great recording. It's been lovely to see your face. Everyone, thanks for fucking listening. Everyone stay safe. Look after yourself. If anything you want us to talk about, any stories you've seen, any gear shots you heard, anything, send us a fucking message. Let's use this time to really fucking interact with each other, because, you know, what else are we fucking doing?
Yes.
I have been Greg, licking feet at Poundworld Armstrong.
How can I even beat that? I'm what, Joe Guantanamo Bay Jackson?
Thanks for listening, everyone. We'll be back fucking the next episode. Take care. Bye.
Peace.
The All Seeing Guys podcast is part of Podnose, the UK's leading independent entertainment podcasting network. For episode archives of the All Seeing Guys and all of the shows on the network, visit us at www.podnose.com. You can also follow us on Twitter via @podnose or send us an email via admin@podnose.com.